The Somali fraud that's happening in Minnesota is absolutely insane, and the politicians who are doing nothing about it. I mean, it's absolutely crazy to see how many politicians who are in charge in America are other nations first over America. Really sad to see. And even the people who claim to be America first, well, they're not even coming out in the face of this. Why is it that all these guys who are, America first here, the resistance against these nations who are trying to come over and take our money or take all this stuff from us, and then they're completely silent on this issue of $9 billion being scammed, and the numbers could be even higher than that. 9 billion potentially scammed by illegal Somalis in America. So it's like, what about America first in that instance? So we're going to look at all that in this video, some of the crazy stuff surrounding this, as well as maybe the bigger picture here is that there's so many of these daycares that are around all these different major cities, especially when you get these liberal cities where they're not imposing any crime on these people. And then that's really making me wonder, we have an epidemic in America of missing children. Why is it when you go to these facilities, when Nick Shirley, he's the one who's broken this whole thing completely wide open, doing what the mainstream media is not doing what the government is not doing. At least we're starting to see some arrests and stuff. But when he's going to these facilities that are supposedly have children inside of them, they have no security whatsoever. They have no mechanisms of any case. When you go there to walk in to say, get your child or see if your child is being taken good care of, they keep the door locked. They keep the door cracked. What kind of business is that keeps the door cracked like that? I mean, if you're saying they're doing it for the protection of the kids, you'd think they'd use an intercom, or normally in facilities like that, you have to go in and then you're let into the area through a locked door where the other kids are. So it makes me wonder if there's some connection here with all this. I mean, clearly they're in it for the money, and there's an epidemic in America of missing children. Trafficking is going on through the absolute roof. And there could be a bigger connection here with all of that stuff going on, not just stealing taxpayer funding, which they just openly admit, but some of that. So what we're seeing there is 5,000 child care facilities in Washington state. Over 500 of them are Somali run, no physical address, no hours of operation, subsidy participation. This is going nationwide, the corruption by these people. And then when they're here, what are they teaching them? Well, they're teaching these kids things like this.
Because we shouldn't be illegal when this is literally like stolen land.
So they're teaching the kids to hate America, to hate the government. That's the kind of things that's going on probably in these facilities. And no wonder when we have guys like this. I mean, this is just crazy. It really is. To see these guys who are just completely just letting our nation be taken over, invaded, and destroyed, and people are voting guys like this into office. I mean, how insane is this? This is the Minneapolis mayor talking to his constituents.
Maaga Egawa Jacob Fry, Doke Magalada, Minneapolis. Damaan, Shaabka Somaliyed, Kayamid, Mogadishu, Garowe, Hargeisa, Bosaso.
I mean, what is an American politician doing speaking to voters in Somali? I mean, I would maybe have some understanding if this was maybe going on to a tiny degree in somebody speaking Spanish because they border the country. Even that, no politician should be speaking a different language than English. None at all. But Somali? I mean, these people pander to the vote so much. It's insane. It's insane that they would just, for a position of power and the money and the power and everything that comes along with it, they will sell our country out to another nation that is known to be completely corrupt in almost every single thing they do in Somali. I mean, literally the amount of taxpayer money that has been stolen by these Somalis here in America is greater than the economy in Somalia. This is insane.
Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato!
Somalia, Hiran State, Mawisle.
Somalia Hanulato!
These are politicians in America. This is just mind-blowing. It's so frustrating and so mind-blowing. I mean, these guys have to be exposed. And again, why is it that these people who claim to be America first, are not coming out in opposition of it. They're literally obsessed with speaking about Israel, who gets less money a year than the billions that's being stolen by the Somalis, and they're not talking about it. Why is no one talking about that? It should just really make us question who's paying these guys, who's controlling these guys when they claim to be America first, and in the face of like complete takeovers, Somali, Islam's taking over in Tampa Bay, it's taking over in Texas. The amount of mosques that are being built is insane, and these people they don't care about that at all. Why is it they're only obsessed about the Jews? It really makes you wonder who's paying them and controlling them, because obviously their mission is not just America first. Here's more of the absolute complete
All right, ready.
sellouts.
Wait a minute.
Tim Waltz grabbing the Minnesota flag. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, this should just make every American sick. It really should. Let's move the state flag out of the way. Oh, and put the Somali flag there.
There, that's better. All right, ready.
That makes me want
wait
to
a
throw up, honestly. And there's absolute proof of election fraud going on in America, going on with the Somali stuff. They are taking over. And I'll gladly say, we should have allies. We do need allies as a country, but are we going to allow other nations to come here and completely take over? That's what's happening. That's what's going on with these nations in the Middle East. Why is the Middle East and Islam and all this stuff completely taking over, and no one's really none of these people are talking about it. Here's absolute clear election fraud. And I'll just say real quick, and again, I just did a live stream on my main channel, Sling and Stone, talking about this in depth. I'll gladly criticize Israel for the things they do. I'll gladly criticize the Jews for what they have wrong. They're missing they're missing Jesus as the Messiah, the main thing. They have insane, evil teachings in the Talmud and Kabbalah, evil stuff. But when's the last time we've seen a group of Jews shout, Yahweh is great, and kill a group of Christians? When's the last time we've seen a group of Jews commit a terrorist attack against anybody? Okay, yeah, I know people are going to say there's these theories of different things. Take at least the big one out. Okay, so even say Jews had some part in the big one that everyone's thinking about. What about the rest? What about it's daily with the Islam stuff. It's part of their teachings. We're not seeing that anywhere else. And even if you look at the history, I mean, there's not even a history of Jews coming in and killing and doing terror attacks against Christians. There is a history of Christians actually doing that against old people, against Jews and Muslims in the Crusades. So it's like, I just don't understand the obsession in the face of an absolute takeover by a violent force that so many people are staying quiet. It's insane. So here's some more of the election fraud going on, and then we'll get into what may be the bigger story here that has yet to be uncovered, but I would have a hard time imagining that it's not going on to some degree. These are the type of people to do it because they have no moral code. They're here illegally, and they're clearly doing whatever they can to make money. Where's the missing kids in America, and why are so many of these illegal foreigners in control of these daycares? That's probably where a lot of these kids are going missing.
Numbers don't lie. Wawjeedan gaarigaygu waa buuxaa. Waxaas waa absent ballot salka yaala. Soo ma jeedin. Fiiri, waxaas oo dhan soo ma jeedin. Waa buuxaa gaarigaygu. Waa buuxa yaala.
This car is full of ballots.
Kullu waa Jamaal Usmaan way. Fiiri. 300 clear months soo dhacday oo Jamaal Usmaan.
You know, this happened a lot. This happened a lot in both the past two elections. These people posting videos online, destroying votes for Trump, dumping in votes in the middle of the night. I mean, then what was in the one election, we have them, flying airplanes in with missing ballots and stuff. Clear election fraud. If any of that could have been seen in the opposite place, if that was ever found, if a video like this was posted for a Republican candidate, it would be all over mainstream news, all over the mainstream media, but it's not when it's in this case. And yeah, guess what? This is a violent force. These people who are getting in positions of power, the Somalis, the Islamists, they're a violent force that want us gone and will go to the means commanded by their God to kill us and take us out. Even criticizing Allah or Muhammad, there's a death penalty all around the world. They want that same thing here.
Yeah.
There was video. You can see the video. There was a video out and about that he has the ballots in his car.
Right.
And talking about the only way you can win is with money. I was looking at them and they were not filled. They were blank.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots? People who work with like Ilhan Omar. Where do they pay the money? The minute we sign the thing, the election, that's what you get paid.
Money is everything. Money is the key in this world. If you ain't got money, you should not be here, period.
Marka odayaasha waa loo codsadaa.
Waa loo codsadaa, ha.
Waana laga qaadaa.
Waa laga qaadaa, ha.
At the end of this street,
Yes.
there's 3 towers called Horn Towers.
Okay.
And it's all seniors, and they took every ballot.
Every ballot. They just take them from
Every single
them.
ballot. They knock on the door and say, your ballots, come give it to me, give it to me.
They don't even pay them for it. They just take it.
No. And the ones that didn't vote on ballots, the young people and the women and stuff, they were paying cash. They were getting bags of money the last 1 week here to drive people. So there's a vest.
So who do you think's behind that? Funding groups of people to go and get, ballots and taking ballots from, senior citizen homes and paying people money for ballots. Someone's funding that for sure. Is it the Somali government? Potentially. Is it some of these Somali politicians? Ilhan Omar? I mean, what? She just out of nowhere just has like a net worth of 30 million just out of nowhere. Where's all this money coming from? Somebody's funding all this stuff. There's people with a lot of money in the world, like George Soros and a lot of other people, globalist elites who have a ton of money, who want America destroyed because they know it's one of the greatest defenses against their globalist agenda to take over the world. And what a greater way to take over than from within. And all these people who've been sitting back and saying nothing and thinking Islam is not a massive problem are going to realize that it is going to be one of the main, if not the main weapon used to take down the freedoms in America. And they'll one day look back and say, oh, well, but the Jews did this. And they'll realize in the face of that actually the entire time people blowing the whistle on Islam, the Islamic takeover is the greatest threat, 100% to America and all of Western society. We're seeing it in real time in Europe. So we know it's a real threat. It's happening. It could happen here. They want it to happen here. So, interesting. This was one of the main things. One of the main stories that a lot of people were talking about was the Leering Center, Quality Leering Center. I almost 100% believe that somebody in the government in Minnesota has paid this guy to go there. They sent a lot of people here, making it look like a legitimate business. They're doing damage control. So the manager of the Quality Leering Center, again, can't spell learning correctly. And these people are owning businesses in America. Insane. Says there's no frauds going on as he stands outside. The manager says, well, I'll let him speak in a minute, but bizarrely enough, the Minnesota Department of Children Commissioner Tiki Brown claimed that within hours of this video's production that the Quality Leering Center closed down last week. And when they were there, it didn't look like anyone was going in the snow. All the people in the businesses around us said they never see people there and they never see kids there. So out of nowhere, here's a Somali guy, trying, and then a nicely speaking one. All the other ones were very aggressive, but this one, who got some of the biggest attention, nicely spoken, seems nice, makes everybody seem like, oh gosh, people are being so mean to them. I would almost say 100% that this guy is being sent there, paid by the Minnesota government to try to wash this story over and make it look like people are mean.
The YouTuber that was making the claims, you were here earlier today. I came here at 1 o'clock. You were here. Where are you now? You claim we're closed. You claim we're fried. Where are you? Why are you not here right now? It's like you're trying to put out a certain message about a certain group. I'm not gonna make that claim. I don't want to make that claim without me knowing him personally, but that's what it seems like he's doing from his front. Where are you right now? He was here earlier. He was recording us. We had no issue with it. We told him, hey, just get off our property. You can record. No, he's not here. He came outside of those hours and then claimed, hey, they're closed and they're still making money. They're using taxpayer money to work. And it's like...
Well, that's exactly what's going on. And I mean, and now all these cases, why are they getting so much money? What are they doing? They can't even spell learning correctly. And this is what's getting all the funding in America. And then all these other businesses, there's no proof. When they open the door, they're opening the door, cracking the door. What exactly is going on here? Obviously, it's widespread fraud. I mean, this is how most of them were reacting when they were confronted about, the not having children at their facility. That's what they're getting funding from taxpayers for. Our money is going to these people, and they're posting online that they're stealing it. Many people rubbing it in our faces. But where's the kids? Where's the work? There's no answer.
No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah?
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
up?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Lying, obviously.
Okay, well, then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joe.
They don't even speak English. And then when this is happening at every facility, they're cracking the door. They're just barely looking through. I mean, is that how these people operate businesses? Why all of the windows at all these facilities are blacked out? All of them, like we see here on the wall at a children's facility. That alone makes me suspicious. I mean, yeah, you have to protect the kids from the public, but it's like, you never find any other daycare center that operates this way. There's comms at the door where you can talk to people out the door. You open the door, you go in, then it's closed off there. You meet someone at the front desk to talk about enrolling your kid or to go pick up your kid who's there. None of them operate like this with blacked out tape over the windows and all this stuff. And then, and then most of these that are investigated, they don't even have kids at them. So it's like something corrupt is going on here. And I, again, wouldn't even be surprised if it is connected to the massive epidemic happening in America of the missing kids. That's going on.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son, Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
No! You're a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
no.
You said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now, they're all getting mad because he's showing the paperwork of this business being registered as a business. 74 children, no children. We saw one child when the lady opened up the door. So now they're...
I mean, people really think that all these people from all these third world nations are going to come here and they're going to, almost prophetic in a way with the American flag in the background, that you really think these people are going to come here and from these third world nations and they're going to just like take on the American way of treating everyone equally and not being and they're going to be America first and they're going to be not caring about their old ways and their old nation or their literally cave fallen angel religion, false religion, Islam given to them by a guy who married the main prophet, married a 9-year-old. I mean, do we really think these people are going to leave this stuff? They're not. They're trying to enforce that Middle Eastern desert stuff here. The true revelation was in the Middle East. The true revelation of God was in the Middle East from God, from Jesus in Jerusalem. Not what's going on here. We're seeing the opposite. Satan's attempt to deceive humanity in that region of the world with Islam, and we're seeing the same thing going on today. It's spreading like crazy. Why do you think that Satan's the god of this world? That's why Islam is spreading like absolute insane.
They all get mad.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking for the owner if you're telling me to talk to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Almost 4,000 daycare centers in a 20-mile radius around Boston, with 1/4 of them of that being water. Yeah, it's strange. I'm sure this is a massive epidemic, and I'm sure, I mean, you know, especially these people have no regard for, again, for America, for the values that we stand for. They actually believe that they're an invading army in a nation. They have the right to take over, do whatever we want. We're practically slaves or property, or actually don't even deserve to live. That's what their religion, it's not a religion. That's what their death cult teaches. Islam teaches. So would we put it past them to be stealing kids who are not from, their part of the world and selling them for money? Clearly they're here for money. Clearly they're here to rob and to steal. So they're willing to do that. Would we put it past them? I wouldn't. I mean, they're following a 100% demonic taught religion where they think they should kill people who don't follow it, or take sexual slaves of the people and the nations they invade. Think they wouldn't take a kid and sell it? They definitely would.
So you're telling this committee that the Biden administration, while they were letting all of these unaccompanied minors into the country, and as we've talked about today, they weren't keeping track of them, they issued these kids a hotline that they could call if they had trouble with the sponsor family that they were put with. And you're saying that 65,000 calls to this hotline designated to protect these kids went unanswered? Is that what you're telling this committee?
Yes, sir.
65,000 calls for a hotline set up for, kids coming into the country who are sent with homes. Who's signing up for that? Because guess what? I'm sure you get some sort of tax break or government funding for that too. So who's the type of people that we would imagine doing, taking tax money, lying about stuff involving children to get money? Are these the types of people who are taking in these kids, these migrant kids, or these illegal kids, or whatever the case is, and they're being put in homes in America, and then they set up a hotline? Call us if you're being mistreated by whoever is in your care. 65,000 calls go unanswered. 65,000 go unanswered. And how many of these kids didn't have access to phones? How many of these kids, couldn't have made the call, didn't know? I mean, it's enough to make you sick to think about this kind of stuff, but 100% this is going on involved in that. I mean, that's a much harder thing and a much more evil thing. So there's different, components involved to expose that type of evil, but 100% it's connected to this stuff in one way or another, or these people. Absolutely. I mean, I would say that that's undeniable.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know how many staffers the administration assigned to answering these phones and helping these kids?
One
staffer? Any idea how many hours a day this staffer was working?
No.
Maybe that's why there were 65,000 calls that weren't answered from these little kids, huh?
Man, that is just, there's a reason why God says, and Jesus even himself said, if any of you is going to harm one of these little ones, it'd be better for you if a massive stone were hung around your neck and you were thrown into the sea than what's going to happen to you. Judgment will be served. Vengeance will be poured out on these people. But man, it's so evil.
Missing children is an epidemic. In the United States alone, roughly 800,000 kids go missing each year. Many never heard from again. And nobody asks why this is happening or where they are going. The news media only reports a tiny fraction of them. Beneath haunting headlines and troubling statistics lies a dark underworld of organized kidnapping, trafficking, and satanic cults.
So, yeah, the numbers are insane. I mean, we can see it here. Australia 20,000, Canada 45,000, Germany 100, India 90, United Kingdom 900,000 in America. The actual numbers are 8 million worldwide and 800,000 in just America alone. Yes, of course, you can attribute some of this to kids running away or something along these lines, but I mean, even if half of these kids here are being taken, where are they being taken? It's just, man, it's so evil. And I really think that we're learning and seeing how much corruption is involved in these daycare facilities. So many of them are closed or taking money, obviously already willing to steal and lie in the name of something involving children. What's going on with these missing kids? Where are the missing kids? If people are not seeing anybody going in and out of these facilities, I mean, people should be staking them out. We did hear kids in some of these facilities stake it out and see if kids are even coming in and going out. Are they keeping kids locked in there? Are they taking kids to try to cover for their story? Who knows? It could go down in this pathway. And I think that for those able, it should be investigated. We just pray in Jesus' name that all of the kids and all the innocent lives around the world who are being harmed and being taken advantage of, every single one of them would be freed in Jesus' name, and that vengeance will be served against the evildoers.